Welcome to the Personal Tanya, Day 15, The Power of Transformation. We're covering game-changing insights in the Tanya in approximately 5 minutes or so, and today we're covering the very end of Chapter 7. We often think about our spirituality as having no impact whatsoever, but in today's Tanya, the Alter Rebbe really helps us scientifically understand some of the implications of our sin. You see, we've learned in yesterday's lesson that when a person does a sin, that sin can be undone through teshuva me'ava, through repentance that's motivated by love. When that repentance is motivated by love, we're actually using our negative, our failing, to motivate our longing. So when a spouse realizes that he's betrayed, when one spouse has betrayed the other, and suddenly it dawns upon him how much he hurt his spouse, and he uses that failing to inspire his therapy and his journey towards being a better spouse, then the infidelity itself has become part of the journey towards healing. But that applies to all forbidden sins, that we are able to reverse the sin, the impact of the sin, through a deep, heartfelt teshuva. Another option is to wait until the coming of Mashiach, when all evil will be removed from this world, and then all that which is forbidden, which is chained, will be released and uplifted. But today, the Alter Rebbe introduces us to one exception, where you do something which is forbidden, but you don't have to go through a deep-rooted teshuva from love in order to redeem it. And he's talking about male masturbation, which is the wasteful emission of seed. Now, the wasteful emission of seed is prohibited, but it's not listed amongst the prohibitions in Torah, because the way that it's reversed, its impact, its tangible impact is reversed, is not like other forbidden events, which need this deep teshuva. The way to reverse the effect, the spiritual impact, the tangible impact of the wasteful emission of seed is merely by reciting with concentration the Shema before going to bed. If you open your prayer book, you'll see it's right after the evening service on page 141 is the prayer before retiring at night. And it's like a spiritual stock taking of the day, where you reflect on all the things that you did in the past day and you regret them. That's it. It's not a deep teshuva. It's just a reflection on how the day went. Just like a person would confess before they die. Before you go to sleep, it's a miniature form of death, because you're unconscious for several hours. And therefore, the meditation, the thoughts before going to sleep at night, the Shema before going to sleep at night, is actually enough to undo the spiritual impact of the sin of wasteful emission of seed. So that's the exception, the big exception here to forbidden relationships, which require a much deeper teshuva that's motivated by love. And the reason for this difference is because when a person sins with another woman, then what happens is that sin is captured within the woman, and it requires a deeper form of repentance in order to undo the implication of the sin. But if it's a mere emission of seed, then it's not actually captured. The implication, the consequence is not captured within the physical woman. It's just out there in the universe, and it needs only a spiritual meditation to undo to reverse the implications of the sin. It's just a wasteful emission of seed. It didn't go into a woman. And that's the reason why the Torah doesn't actually list male masturbation as an explicit prohibition, even though it is prohibited, because the reversal is much easier. It's very different to the reversal of other spiritually forbidden relationships. Those forbidden relationships require deep teshuva of love, and wasteful emission of seed requires merely the reciting of the Shema before going to sleep at night, doing so with intention and with concentration. There is, however, one form of forbidden relationship which cannot be undone, and this is quite alarming, and that's when a forbidden relationship leads to a forbidden child. The birth of a forbidden child, what's called a bastard or a mamzer. Now, the implication, the tangible impact of the sin is manifest not just in the woman in a spiritual form, but actually in a physical, tangible form, in the form of a child. And therefore, as long as that child, the forbidden child, is walking around, the sin is out there, and you cannot undo the sin because the person's there. So that actually, the Alter Rebbe says, a little disheartening, is that when you have the forbidden child, it's actually a relationship, it's a tangible impact of sin that cannot actually be undone. And that's about that. The Talmud says that this is someone who messed up and cannot be undone, is when you give birth to a child who's a forbidden child, a bastard. So let's try to avoid that. And we can, this is a wrap on today's Tanya. Let's try to apply. You can do this.